would you get Mexican at a Denny's?
Ooh. I don't think so. I don't think so. Um
You're listening to the Dad to Dad podcast, a podcast where we just talk as dads. What's up? I'm Ben. This is Ryan.
Hey, how we doing? You guys doing all right?
I'm doing fine. I think you're just talking to me. No one's going to
I
respond
think I
back.
am.
This, this is our first podcast, so like we're winging it, I guess, right?
We're winging it. We're still getting the hang of all this. This is literally my first one besides the 10-minute intro we did. But yeah, we're getting it.
Do it again. Ask how we're all doing.
How y'all doing?
Great. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, just if for those of you that don't know, Ryan likes to be up on stage and ask that question, so he feels like he's getting this giant round of applause, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, the big thing is when I'm on stage, especially at kids camp, there's always one question, and it's, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" Oh yeah, it's a whole big thing. I love it. I'm telling you. Listen, I just got pumped up. I just got pumped up just by saying those few words. And I'm like, yes, I'm
Well, I
ready
got
to
on
go.
stage once
Yeah,
at camp.
I think I missed it.
Sure did. I watched you for 14 days. Not 14 days. I felt like
About
14 days.
about
10
9
days.
days.
I watched you for
10 days?
9, 10.
Yeah, there you go.
And I couldn't, and I was only on there for 10 minutes to pop the confetti, and you left.
Yep, me, we had things to do. So bye.
You left. So listen, like we said, this is our first shot at this. So we're going to be a little bumpy along the way. We've got 3 segments that we talked about that we're going to go into. Right now, we're not going to hit the highlighting a dad because this is Holy Week and this is all about Jesus
Right.
and the resurrection of Jesus. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick to just kind of chit chatting like we are. We're going to talk a little bit more about an event that Ryan is partaking in that has to do with a bunch of wild game, eating some alligators
Woohoo.
and hogs, right?
Hogs, yep. Mm-hmm.
There's a hunt that you can do. I think it's in Florida right now, and you can pay like I think it's $600. You can go get a 8-foot alligator and like 100-pound hog, guaranteed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. The guys the connection I got some with in Arkansas, man, they'll take us out and hunting for hogs all the time because down there hogs are like rats and mice. They hate them.
Well, they're varmints,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but they taste good.
Do you skin them or do you have them prepared?
So what we usually we pick up the hogs. They're already skinned and quartered. So like that's pretty much already all done. When I was down there as a kids pastor or as a youth pastor, um, for a VBS, we actually that was somewhere else, and it was so surprising because I'm from up here in Ohio, and down there they said, "Oh, you Yankees know how to kill." Yeah, yeah, we know how to kill some meat too. Thanks, I had one guy say, there's where I was at is Camden, and the next town up said, if you're north of that, you're a Yankee. So I'm like, whatever, it's
I don't know. I think the actual line is like somewhere in Kentucky, and then everything north of that
is
is.
considered, yeah. But no, but that hog that we killed then, and we actually skinned it and did everything there. Probably some of the best like pulled pork sandwiches, best ribs I've ever had before. Because actually, it was a very young hog too, so it was
Hmm. See, and
tasty.
fish are like that. Fish are like that. The younger the fish are, the better that they taste. And people think like you get this ginormous fish, it's good eating. No,
Mhm.
that's it. It's more foul.
But that's
I'm going to just keep holding my hands up like this the whole time that we talk, and I'll pretend that I've caught a fish.
well, that's
But yeah,
but that's everything though. That's deer. Oh, you got a big deer. You're gonna get that one mounted. Fantastic. Probably not gonna taste that good. Oh, you got a huge hog. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be, you have to add a lot of barbecue sauce to that one. So it's just different kind of things. The way that I don't know the way it happens. But I will tell you this though. This past time we had a 32-hour trip to go
mhm.
and pick up all this meat. So I left church after Wednesday night service. I left church, and me and my buddy Tom, we started driving, picked up my friend Chris, he's a youth pastor in Dayton, and we drove 16 hours through the night. Got there about 3. Man, I'm telling you, it's a long trip. And we got down there, and they're like, "Hey, we got some in the cage. You guys gonna go?" And so we went and helped them get some hogs out of the cage. And so it was an experience though.
Oh,
I've done.
and you guys did it in such a time where you stayed. How long were you in Arkansas, right? Because let's
Okay.
say it like it's phonetically
So
spelled.
so from the time the first like stop, not just getting into Arkansas, the first time we stopped, we were probably there probably 20 about 28 hours maybe total. We got there at 3 o'clock, 24 hours, and then we left probably about 6 or 7, so maybe 26 hours we were there total. And then we got back in the car and drove on back. And
That's not including drive time. That's 26 hours in Arkansas
in
before you
Arkansas,
drove
or
back.
in Camden, Arkansas, we were there for about 26 hours.
Okay, so
So
it wasn't 16 hours down. Boom, get some
26
hogs,
hours.
get some gator, go back. I mean, that's real Crocodile Dundee stuff.
We got a thing to do. We're gonna get in, get out. There we go. So that's exactly what we did. But I'll tell you one thing though. Something that I never thought I would do is eat a all American breakfast
Mm.
at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, I remember you. I think you texted me that Friday morning. I said, you know, how to go, and you said, I'm eating breakfast right now. Dash 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 at
Yeah.
a Mexican restaurant.
I mean, listen,
That
you're talking pancakes, the hash browns, piece of ham, some bacon. I mean, it was like it, what's funny is really good. Like the pancakes actually were really decent. And my buddy, he got 2 breakfast tacos. Thinking back, I'm like, man, I should have gotten that. But but still, it was really good. But never thought in a million years, let's go have breakfast at the Mexican restaurant.
so you got Denny's at the Mexican restaurant.
Yes, yeah, Denny's, like the Grand Slam kind of thing. If you're going to go to Cracker Barrel, it's
Okay,
called
okay.
the
So
Grand.
let me ask you this: would you get Mexican at a Denny's?
Who? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I'll stick to my Grand Slam. I can't tell you last
Have
time.
you ever eaten lunch at a Denny's?
I don't think I've eaten lunch and dinner at Denny's, but I think both times, or not both times, anytime I can remember, I always get breakfast. Breakfast is one of my favorite foods. So typically if there's a breakfast menu, I mean, I don't mind doing that. But Denny's, yeah, typically it's always breakfast.
Do they serve anything other than breakfast?
What, Denny's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they serve a hamburger. Everywhere sells a chicken strip basket though. So
So I'm looking at their menu. They are heavy on like cheese melts and chicken tenders. Like, bro, there's a picture here. I don't know. I'm gonna show it to you.
basic.
It's a picture
Denny's.
it is the picture of the sides. Okay. Look at the onion rings. Look how many they showed there.
Oh, there you go.
There's like 4 or 5. 5 onion rings is your side.
That's right. Oh, I'm telling you, but see, did you see that 55 and older? That was like almost exactly what I was
What are you
eating.
talking about?
The,
What are you talking about? They got a
55,
55
it says
and older?
55 plus. You got your bacon and everything there. That's like,
Let's go over this menu. I just want you to tell me yes or no.
okay,
Scrambled eggs and cheddar.
sure.
Yes. Omelet.
Omelet. If I'd eat it there.
It's 2 eggs and caramelized onions.
Ooh, caramelized onions though? I don't know. I mean, I love caramelized onions, are some of my favorite, but in an omelet, I don't know.
All right, the starter, which is an egg, 1 bacon strip, or a sausage link, and hash browns.
Yeah, see,
Some bread.
this is the 55 and older. See, the other one might have like 2 pieces of bacon, but gotta
I'm
make some.
55 and old. I don't need that much anymore.
I only need 1 piece of bacon.
No, dude, I've never met the person who said, "I'll just take 1 piece of bacon." All right, here's the risk. The 55 and older menu contains the wild Alaskan salmon.
Oh, okay. Salmon from Denny's. Okay.
All right, but country fried steak, which is basic like Bob Evans, Cracker Barrel, and Denny's. Like
That's-
I think, but like Cracker Barrel is like the bougie Denny's.
Yes, I would say that. But any country fried steak, I think it's pretty much. I've never had really a bad country fried steak before.
And then grilled cheese and sandwich soup.
Ooh, grilled cheese and sandwich soup. Not even tell you what kind of soup it is. Yeah, but
All right, so
I love me some Barrel though, man. Cracker
some
Barrel.
what?
Cracker Barrel.
Oh, Cracker Barrel.
I love me some Cracker Barrel.
I like Cracker Barrel too,
Yeah.
man. We've actually had Cracker Barrel together.
Yeah, I think like just last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't call it Cracker Barrel here. We call it Cracker Berry.
Cracker. Okay. I like calling the Barrel. Then you want to go to Barrel? That's
Well, so we call it Cracker Berry, and one of the things why we call it Cracker Berry, and I'll ask you, dad to dad, our kids say funny words, right? And Lauren and I really try to hold on to those funny words for as long as we can because it's like their childhood.
Oh yeah. So one of the favorites for kids to eat is macaroni and cheese. But what does one of my youngest son call it? When he's starting to call it mac and cheese now, but he called it chickenese. I want some chickenese. Can I get some chickenese? So it's like some of those kind of things. When he calls it Cracker Barrel, we gonna go Cracker Barrel, like fantastic. And so that's what I call it now too. We gonna go Cracker Barrel.
The best one for us is, and you guys actually texted us tonight and asked how we were doing because there was a tornado warning where we're at. But my son calls tornadoes still right now potatoes. And he'll come running in the middle of the night. There's a potato. There's a potato. Let me tell you what getting woke up at 2:30 in the morning to there's a potato sounds like. You don't know what to think. We're being overrun by spuds in our house. But we just like
potato.
But I think like there's innocence behind it, and when they talk like that. Now Bailey, who's older, and you've got some older ones too, and the words that they use are so adult like.
I do have to say though, I think my wife would admit that she has a harder time with it than I do when they move past it. I'll be honest, like, oh, he's not saying chickenese anymore. He said mac and cheese. Okay. Like, I mean, like, oh, it's sad. Yeah. Okay. Move on. Like,
well, mine is more like with my daughter, with my son. And this isn't like a masculine thing or anything. It's just, I was home more with my daughter during COVID and all that.
Yeah.
So I got to experience a lot of the words that she said. And I hold on to those a lot more. Chase is in daycare full time, all the time, I feel like. So
yeah,
they get to do that. So you went to the Mexican Denny's.
Yep. And man, it was like I said, it was good. It was fine. We left there. We just hung out with one of my buddies. He's a lead pastor down there, hang out with him for a little bit. I used to live down there. I was a youth pastor down there for 3 years. So just being able to hang out, go see the old church where I was pastoring at, where I first started my ministry career, really was pretty awesome. And just going around showing the church was open. They actually were having a yard sale.
The church was?
The church was having a yard sale. Walked right. I'm like, hey, couple
Did
people
you look?
What? At the yard sale stuff? No.
Yeah.
No.
Are you a yard sale guy?
I do. I am a yard sale guy. I do like to go walk around, see the kind of deals you can find. Honestly, sometimes when you go to certain houses, especially certain areas, dude, I'm looking for sometimes golf clubs because I don't mind playing golf, but if I can find a good set of golf clubs that aren't like just your normal brands, like your Wilsons and different things like that, but if you can find one, hey, we got some pings in here that are $50 the whole set. Okay, yeah, I'll buy those. Yeah. So it's also I have a buddy of mine. When he goes, he's looking to resell. So
yeah. I think a lot of people are, but this is a different conversation for another day because the garage selling thing. When I met my wife, there are seasons to it that consume my family.
Oh,
my wife, and I mean my daughter and wife.
Okay.
My wife will start dragging your wife. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm like,
they will go to certain towns in the state that have all you can do garage sale, and we'll be sitting there at a Mexican Denny's.
Fantastic.
Closest thing we got up here is a Golden Corral.
Ooh, the feed trough.
That's a Mexican Denny's. That's
right.
some Mexican Denny's. So you guys brought all that stuff back.
Yep. We
alligator, hog, and you've got a men's thing going on for wild game
Yeah. So wild
or
game.
wild game night.
It's for a Christian school, and so all the proceeds just go to help with some of the tuition stuff, but also just things maintenance they need around the school. And man, it's an awesome time. It's a awesome, the food part, but then there's raffles. They actually raffle off some guns. They have different
Mm.
giveaways and stuff like that. And so it's just a fun night. We're not doing as many weird things to me this year. Years past, we did weird. Listen, possum
I don't
Possum
even know what that means. Okay, food,
possum does not
food wise.
yeah, sorry. Food. Possum does not taste good. I just didn't like that.
I don't know who thought it would.
I Raccoon, not so much either. And it's a lot of work for a little bit of meat too.
So
Um,
you guys used to get the animals that we kick out of our trash.
yeah, yep, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, so I mean, the biggest thing that we picked up were alligators, or we picked up alligator, we picked up a lot of hog, the catfish, and we are actually having bison burgers. If you've never ate a bison burger before, some of the best burger. I mean, just it's really good.
But all right, so you guys are back. You get that whole man meat night.
That's right.
Probably sounded funny saying that the way I did, but I apologize. And I think we're getting ready to wrap up. And with it being our first episode on a Monday in Holy Week, we've just gone through Palm Sunday. I think we got to talk about Jesus flipping some tables.
Yeah, I think so, and I think the biggest reason also why we wanted to do this, too, talking about this first day, what happened after he came into Jerusalem was, man, I'm telling you what, I don't know about you, as a dad though, we have so many different emotions. I can tell you, dude, there's happy times that we get, there's sad times we get, but there's also the angry times we get, and it's all about sometimes how we justify that with some of our anger kind of stuff too.
No, and like,
And Jesus experienced all those things.
real surface level question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about Jesus being angry, I have a hard time believing it's the same like anger that you and I have.
I totally agree with that. I mean, because
So go ahead.
his anger was, I get angry because I've told my child 3 times to stop doing something, and they don't stop doing it, and then I get angry. Jesus, sometimes he could tell us multiple times not to stop doing something, but he's still there. Like he'll correct, but he's still there and not yelling at us because of that. Does that make sense? Like
I have a hard time visualizing sometimes when we read these things, like Jesus raising his voice.
yeah.
And so we're going to talk about Jesus going into this temple, flipping tables, and you being a pastor, I think it's important to understand why he's even in this temple and why he's even flipping the tables. I think for a lot of us, and like I've said before, I'm a ministry student. I know a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
What I know on the surface is Jesus walks up into this temple. Okay. People are doing some things that are alluded to back in the Old Testament. So we're fulfilling things.
Yep.
And they're also charging people essentially to have that connection to Jesus that he's there to get rid of.
The whole reason for this, he goes into the temple, and the temple, like he says, it says, you've turned this is supposed to be a house of prayer, and you've turned it into a den of robbers. The big reason why is because there's an outer court area that anyone could worship at. The Jews could go and worship into a certain area of the temple, and the Gentiles, which is everyone else, couldn't. But the problem is that was the courtyard of Gentiles, so anyone could pray there. But the problem is it was fine with them coming in and selling things, upping the price on things. But then what happened is everyone else sometimes couldn't worship because they're being distracted by a whole bunch of stuff. And that's where Jesus like, no, I want anyone that wants to worship God to be able to come in and worship. And that's the big reason why he got upset, was because it was on the outer court for everyone to be able to worship.
So it was almost like, could I afford to worship?
Yeah, that as well. Like, yeah, because If it costs something for a particular pigeon or a dove or something to sacrifice, because that's how we atone for our sins then, well, everyone was just marking the prices up. Like, well, we know you got to come and do this, because you got to remember everyone's traveling from everywhere to get to one spot. And Jesus is upset because now you're upping the price for everyone trying to worship.
And you used a big word there, and I want to make sure everybody knows it. And you said atone.
Yeah.
We're not talking like a printer toner.
Nope. Nope. We're
Okay.
we're talking about atone. So what we had to do is in the Old Testament time is what we always that we had to offer a blood sacrifice to atone for our sins, the things that we made. And so we have to the only way to get those clean was to atone for those and uh to offer something. And that's the biggest thing. And when Jesus came, we didn't have to do that anymore, because he was the ultimate sacrifice by shedding his blood.
Mm-hmm. And we use that atonement, I would say now it's more translated into repentance.
Yes. Yep.
That's how we as a Christian community talk about that now. So you're sharing that, and I'm trying to take us to that place to where we can actually visualize ourselves in that.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we walk away from that with? So I'm a child of God, right? I'm created in his image. Jesus has come down, and not everybody understands this whole Jesus thing yet, but they're starting to. I mean, we're at a place now in this dialogue, in this story, where people are starting to understand really who Jesus is and what's required, because he said it over and over again. The Sermon on the Mount has happened. The feeding of 5,000 has happened. All right. So in the version of John where Jesus goes in and clears out the temple, when Jesus enters in to Jerusalem, it uses the word move, and translated back, that word actually means earthquake. So like the earth shook when Jesus arrived. So like they knew this dude was different.
Yeah.
The earth moved when he showed up. And then he walks into this place and sees all these people trying to worship him after he was just worshiped publicly, given a grandiose entrance. Now he's going to the place where people are going to worship his father, and they can't get in or they can get in, but by the time they've got in, they've been robbed of everything they got.
Yep.
Tell me the enemy don't work like that.
It does. And I'm telling you, how many of us would be upset? Just imagine for a second, Dad, you're taking your whole family in somewhere, and they're up in the price. And instead of having money left over for you to do something else, you have nothing else. You have nothing else. I don't know about you, but I'd be upset. Because, hey, Dad, you told me I could do this, this, and this. Well, because they marked everything up, we can only do this. Then your kids are sad. Then your kids are upset. And there's nothing you can do except for you to be a little upset as well. The biggest thing is, though, is how you're going to react to your kids and your wife as well.
Well, I think we're living in that right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Look at the price of everything.
Come on.
I had to get new sidewalk chalk, Ryan. $13. Yeah.
Whoo. I remember when you get some sidewalk chalk for like $5. Well, when I was a kid,
get left in the rain.
When I was a kid, it was even less than that, but
bro, the biggest scam is bubbles. Bubbles will rip you off. And then my kid, every time they'll take the bubble thing and be like, Dad, I got it.
Yep. He was
like, hey, there went $5.99. I need more bubbles.
Yeah. So
how much will you pay to stop the crying?
I will say this. They want to do it and take it out, and they want to, blow the wand or whatever. Yeah. Bubble machine. You put the bubbles in there and let it go. Done and done. It's empty. I'll fill it. Don't worry.
No, and going back to the temple and understanding like everything that his people are giving, the anger that we see from Jesus here is what we would consider righteous anger.
Yeah.
Justifiable anger. But like we talked previously, that anger is probably conveyed a lot different than how we convey anger. I think a lot of times as dads, when we get angry, we lash, we don't think. everything is very right now. And this is, Jesus isn't just a person going in to cleanse the temple. Like, one, this was a planned thing. He knew that this was going to happen, but it was a calculated move to remove, and I'm just going to call it for what it is, the people in the way from people receiving what God's got for them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And
And,
too many times I feel we have to get things removed out of our own lives so we can get closer to Jesus as well.
and like, as we're talking, like, we talk a lot about in the church community, give it all to God, give it all to God.
Yeah.
I don't think we realize, like, he'll get angry on our behalf. He's getting angry on the behalf of people trying to do the right thing.
Yep.
So let him be the one to get angry.
I think the hardest thing too is that we always think that, hey, give it all to God, and we give it all to God, that you're never gonna have to do something like that again either. No, it's a continuation. This life that we're in, it's a continuation of stuff that we're gonna go through no matter what, and just continuing on. Lord, I need your help. Not just always just giving. Just, man, I need some help today because I need it.
Lord, I need you.
That's right.
All right, listen. It's Holy Monday, right? That's what we call it.
Holy Monday. Turn tables Monday.
Flipping tables Monday. Angry Monday. It's Monday. And
That's right.
This was our first go at it. First of all, we want to take the time and thank you for listening to Dad to Dad. If you could do us a big favor, click subscribe right here. Ryan's Instagram is going to be right there. Do you remember it now?
Yeah, it's RK Workman 85.
RK Workman 85. I think he has 11 posts now. And
14.
Dude, you are on the up and up.
That's right.
You still tag me on the wrong one. You give my personal Instagram out. I've got like a podcast Instagram, and then I've got a personal Instagram that I keep for like my really close friends. No, you always tag the other one. So
the other underscore one.
They're all underscore, dude.
Then underscore.
They're all underscore. Listen, I have such a common name. The only way I can get my name onto anything is with an underscore. I am just known as underscore.
Fantastic.
So my Instagram handle is Ben_Atkins LYL. And you can do us a favor, share everything, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And tomorrow I want to get your take on Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul.
Ooh, all right.
I mean, there's nothing that makes me feel young like an old man fighting again.
Right. Yeah, but we're
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Come on. That's right. Tomorrow.